How did the PlayStation 3, yes, that chunky beast from 2006, pull off graphics and gameplay that still make our eyeballs do double takes in 2025? Some of these games looked so jaw-droppingly real, you'd swear your console was sentient. From sun-drenched ruins to expressions so lifelike it's spooky, these titles pushed the PS3 harder than Kratos pushes Zeus. Buckle up, because we're diving into 10 PS3 games that were so realistic, they practically filed taxes.
Best friend shows up out of nowhere.
Nobody tells me what I want!
To torture me over mistakes I made over a decade ago.
Yes! Woo! Welcome back, man!
Grand Theft Auto 5. Say whatever you want, but GTA 5 on the PS3 has its own charm. Well, at least to me. But do the graphics hold up today's standard? Well, for the PS3 standard, it does. I'm sure everyone knows about the plot. Basically juggle 3 psychopaths while also running from the cops, pulling off massive gold heists, and occasionally texting your therapist from a stolen SUV. That's basically life in this jaw-droppingly detailed criminal sandbox, where every traffic light, angry pedestrian, and soda can on the sidewalk screams, "How is this running on a PS3?" The story flips between a burnt-out ex-bank robber in therapy, a gangbanger trying to rise above the streets, and a literal walking crime tornado in human form. Switching between these 3 is smoother than your grandma's Sunday gravy, and each one has their own superpower, because yes, bullet time and rage mode are canon now in crime dramas. The missions escalate from mild fraud to full-blown Hollywood-style heists with more planning than a real-world wedding. And all while the world reacts dynamically to every bullet, crash, or dog-walking disaster you cause. Don't even get me started on how you can just jump off a mountain after blowing up a meth lab. The cars handle better than some racing games. The radio stations deserve their own Spotify playlists. And the fact that this whole playground runs on a PS3 feels like witchcraft. Now with GTA 6 just around the corner, enjoy the last few days of this game before it bites the dust. The Last of Us. There's post-apocalyptic, and then there's emotionally bulldozed by fungal zombies and your own feelings, post-apocalyptic. And this game firmly delivers the latter. You're playing as Joel, a grizzled smuggler with the emotional availability of a brick wall, escorting Ellie, a sarcastic teenager who just might be humanity's last hope. What begins as a delivery job quickly spirals into a soul-ripping road trip across what's left of America, dodging raiders, clickers, and every variety of personal trauma. And it's not just about the infected. This is a world where fungus is terrifying and feelings are fatal. The gameplay sneaks up on you, literally. You're scavenging, crafting shivs out of scissors and tape, and holding your breath behind busted vending machines as monstrosities shuffle past. One wrong step? Screams. Game over. But when you do get it right, it feels like surviving a war with nothing but grit and duct tape. The realism hits hard, animations are weighty, AI reacts believably, and listen mode has you playing Sonar Daddy like a Batman hybrid with PTSD. The quiet moments between action scenes, absolute gold. It's brutal, beautiful, and somehow all running on a PS3 like it's the Sistine Chapel of consoles. Just try not to cry. Or do. You will. Max Payne 3. Welcome to the sun-soaked beaches of Sao Paulo. Now, add a bottle of whiskey, a duffel bag of bullet casings, and a man so dead inside he makes noir detectives look like stand-up comedians. Max Payne's third outing trades snow and trench coats for sweat-stained shirts and tropical shootouts. But don't let the sunshine fool you. This one's pitch black. Max is older, balder, and drowning in regret and booze. But when a rich family's wife gets kidnapped, Max swaps hangovers for hand cannons and dives headfirst into Brazil's most corrupt back alleys. The gameplay is so smooth, it practically bleeds cinematic style. Bullet time still makes every dive look like an action movie climax, and the last stand mechanic gives you one final shot to keep your liver-fueled rampage going. The gunfights are gritty, brutal, and every weapon feels like it punches with real-world weight. You duck for cover, pop painkillers like Tic Tacs, and mow down enemies while bleeding out in slow motion like it's just another Tuesday. And somehow, all of this madness, the exploding favelas, blood-spattered suits, and seamless shootouts, runs on a PS3. It's less of a game, and more of a violent ballet choreographed by despair. Realistic? Absolutely. Therapeutic? Weirdly, yes. Tomb Raider. If you thought archaeology was just brushing off bones and sipping tea in a dusty tent, think again. This is Lara Croft's crash course in how to survive literally everything. Fresh-faced and just out of university, our future tomb-raiding legend ends up shipwrecked on the most cursed island this side of a Lovecraft fever dream. She starts off shaky, screaming at wolves and nearly passing out from impalement, but give her a bow, a lighter, and some duct tape, and she becomes a one-woman rescue team / demonic cult exterminator. The gameplay blends cinematic action, tight platforming, and tense survival combat into a seamless, is she gonna make it, thrill ride. You'll be scaling cliffs, crafting makeshift gear, and stabbing cultists in the throat with an improvised pickaxe like it's a Tuesday. And let's talk realism. The grime, the blood, the bruises. It's like you can feel every tumble she takes. From fiery explosions to physics-based puzzles and haunted samurai corpses guarding an undead queen. Somehow this epic transformation story plays out on a PS3 without melting the console. That's black magic, right? Lara starts out scared, gets battle-hardened fast, and by the time she dual-wields pistols again, you'll believe in video game evolution. Survival never looked this gritty or this good.
Broken bones. You get off on all this, don't you? I merely want what's mine.
Give me that back.
Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Some games give you puzzles, some give you gunfights. This one hands you a sandstorm, a sinking ship, a burning chateau, and a hallucination-fueled punch fest in a lost desert city, all before breakfast. Nathan Drake's third globe-trotting disaster tour is so cinematically ridiculous, it might as well have been directed by Michael Bay with a PhD in archaeology. You'll punch your way through secret societies, outwit pirates mid-ocean, and get sucker-punched by hallucinogenic darts that send your screen swirling like bad sushi. Gameplay is tighter than Drake's half-tucked shirt. Melee flows like a choreographed dance, gunplay is weighty and slick, and the platforming smooth as Nate's wisecracks. The puzzles hit just the right brain itch, and stealth actually works this time around, mostly. The environments are jaw-dropping. One minute you're in London back alleys, the next you're sprinting across collapsing ruins in Yemen, all animated with a level of polish that feels illegal on a PS3. But the real kicker? The emotional gut punches between explosions. The chemistry between Nate, Sully, and Elena brings actual heart to the chaos. Somehow this game juggles myth, mayhem, and man tears, and sticks the landing. It's like if Indiana Jones got therapy and still ended up in a bar fight.
Did someone try to hurt you? Is that a scar? Is that recent?
Beyond Two Souls. Imagine if your imaginary friend was real, invisible, and also capable of full-on ghostly murder. Welcome to the existential roller coaster that is this beautifully weird supernatural drama. You play as Jodie Holmes, a girl tethered to a moody, all-powerful entity named Aiden, who floats around like Casper's older, more violent cousin. The game jumps back and forth through Jodie's life like it's channel surfing on Fate. One moment you're a scared kid blowing up a birthday party with poltergeist rage. The next, you're in full CIA gear sneaking through snowy bases or blowing up underwater ghost labs. And oh boy, that's just the start. Gameplay is more interactive movie than twitchy shootout, with controller tilts, button prompts, and a heap of slow-motion choices that branch the story in all sorts of unpredictable way. You're not just picking dialogue, you're choosing lives, relationships, and sometimes entire moral crossroads. Controlling Aiden is like being a mischief god. Float through walls, possess people, shove objects with angry ghost force. And did I mention this visual marvel ran on PS3? Yeah, it looked like a next-gen fever dream years before the PS4 dropped. Between Willem Dafoe's heartfelt performance and a plot that constantly asks, what even is death? This one aimed for the soul and nailed it with a spectral uppercut.
My name is Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the origami killer.
I'm Madison Page. I'm a journalist. I suppose I like to play the guardian angel.
Heavy Rain. Did you want to play a noir thriller where every button press feels like it might accidentally kill someone or yourself? That's the chaotic emotional tightrope you walk in this brutal, rainy mystery where parenting involves self-amputation and dodging oncoming traffic to save your kid from a murderer with a paper-folding hobby. You play 4 people, each with wildly different levels of competence and trauma. A grieving dad with blackout episodes, an FBI agent with a drug problem, a suspiciously ripped journalist who never sleeps, and a private investigator with some major emotional baggage. The gameplay is part cinematic opera, part panic-induced quick-time event ballet, where a wrong stick flick could mean someone eats a bullet. You'll drink poison, chop off fingers, and scream at the screen while trying to fold your way toward a kidnapped child's location, literally one origami at a time. The choices you make ripple through the story like raindrops in a flooded pipe, and yes, everyone can die. The level of realism here, uncanny. From soggy streets to the awkwardness of navigating a father-son breakfast, it's PS3 sorcery. It's tense, intimate, and emotionally manipulative in the best way. One wrong move and it's game over, forever.
Death is in my blood.
God of War 3. Welcome to this volcanic explosion of rage and revenge, where Kratos redecorates with blood, guts, and the broken bones of the entire Greek pantheon. The gameplay slams you into god-slaying action faster than Zeus can yell, "My son!" as you juggle between the blades of exile, lightning-charged whips, gauntlets forged to smash immortal skulls, and a magic system so refined it might as well be divine performance art. The scale here is beyond epic. You're battling titans the size of cities, tearing Helios' head off to use it as a flashlight, seriously, and beating Hercules into hamburger with golden lion fists. Every moment is cranked up to 11, with platforming sequences stitched into cinematic set pieces that feel like the PS3's graphics card is one scream away from bursting into flames. Yet somehow, beneath the chaos there's emotion. Pandora's sacrifice, Kratos confronting his past, and that brutal final choice. It's Greek tragedy by way of Michael Bay, only smarter, meaner, and running smoother than it has any right to on a PS3.
Fire army lines on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Mark.
Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus. If a Saturday morning cartoon and a sci-fi fever dream had a baby, and that baby was obsessed with gravity boots, snowman guns, and dimension-hopping demonic jellyfish, this would be it. In this zany final act of the future saga, our favourite fuzzy space mechanic and his pocket-sized robo-buddy are back in full chaotic swing. Only this time, things get extra weird. We're talking haunted space prisons, emo telekinetic twins, and a full-on breach of the Netherverse. You'll be zipping through gravity puzzle arenas, blasting thugs' 4-less henchmen with the Winterizer, because frozen clown snowmen are apparently the ultimate weapon, and navigating Clank's bizarre 2D side-scroll maze sequences with a demonic nether creature stalking your every move. The weapons? Over the top as ever. The combat? Punchy, chaotic, and constantly rewarding. And somehow, it all runs buttery smooth on a PS3, like it's daring the console to implode under all the particle effects. The story's compact, but carries real heart, with Kronk and Zephyr's emotional farewell punching you right in the feels just before a jetpack shootout breaks loose. It's short, sweet, and a love letter to everything that made Ratchet and Clank an iconic duo. Gravity-defying action, absurd gadgets, and just enough emotional depth to make you misty between explosions.
Then we have to help her. We have to make her heart whole again. She's not in pain because a piece of her heart was stolen. It's because you gave up fighting.
Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. What if Studio Ghibli made a Pokemon-style JRPG that emotionally gut-punched you while wrapping it all in gorgeous hand-drawn art and a sweeping Joe Hisaishi soundtrack? That's exactly what this visually enchanting and spiritually devastating PS3 gem serves up. You play as Oliver, a boy who literally cries his way into another dimension after losing his mum, only to discover he might be the chosen one, destined to save two worlds with the help of his Welsh fairy pal, Drippy. Yes, he's got a lantern. The gameplay blends real-time dodging and positioning with a hybrid command system where you summon and evolve adorable familiars that are basically anime chocobo Pokemon hybrids. You'll battle corrupted creatures, cast wild spells, and cry at least once an hour, usually when Oliver looks hopeful and says something like, "I'll save you, Mum." Every town, dungeon, and Sky Dragon ride is lovingly crafted, and the world map? Straight out of a fantasy novel you wish you grew up with. And yes, this whole magical, orchestral, emotionally complex experience runs on a PS3 like it's whispering, "I'm not crying, you are." It's an animated fairy tale that invites you to heal along with its character. And there you have it. Proof that the PS3 wasn't just ahead of its time, it punked time. These games aged like fine digital wine. From photorealistic gunfights to apocalyptic landscapes, you could smell through the screen. These devs somehow unlocked wizard mode on a console with only 256 MB of RAM. So hit that like, drop your own pics in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because nostalgia never looked this real.